Africa, the cradle of humanity. It is here on this vast continent where some of the world's earliest civilizations were born. But Africa's story is more than just ancient ruins and lost cities. It is a story of resilience, innovation, and abundant cultures that have shaped the world in ways many don't fully realize. Imagine traveling back in time thousands of years to a period long before written records. The lands of Africa are already bustling with human activity. In the northeast, along the Nile River, one of the most iconic civilizations was emerging: ancient Egypt. The Great Pyramids that still stand today were once gleaming white, reflecting the sunlight, a sign of the ancient Egyptians' advanced architectural skills. They weren't just builders, though. They were scientists, mathematicians, and philosophers, laying the foundation for knowledge that would spread throughout the world. But Egypt was only one chapter in Africa's history. Far to the west, across the vast Sahara, another powerful empire began to emerge: ancient Ghana. Not to be confused with the modern country of Ghana, this was an empire that developed over 1,000 years ago. Ancient Ghana controlled trade routes across the Sahara and was known for its vast wealth, especially its gold. In fact, it was so rich that Arab traders referred to Ghana as the land of gold. Trade was the lifeblood of many African empires. Along the east coast, the Swahili civilization flourished, with its great cities such as Kilwa and Mombasa becoming bustling hubs of commerce. From the deep forests and deserts of the interior, African goods such as ivory, gold, and spices were exchanged for textiles, ceramics, and glass beads from Asia and the Middle East. This relationship helped spread Islam across the continent, bringing with it new ideas, technologies, and even writing systems. Heading south, we'll visit the Great Kingdom of Zimbabwe. Its most famous structure, Great Zimbabwe, was a huge stone city built without mortar, just perfectly cut and stacked stones. For centuries, this kingdom dominated the region, controlling gold mines and trade routes to the coast. The city was a symbol of African ingenuity, and its ruins still stand today, reminding us of its former greatness. Across the continent, civilizations were growing, creating their own cultures, languages, and traditions. In West Africa, the Mali Empire rose to prominence. Have you heard of Mansa Musa? He was the emperor of Mali and is often considered the richest man in history. His pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 was legendary, not just for its size, but for how much gold he gave away along the way. His kingdom was a center of learning, and cities like Timbuktu became famous for their universities, where scholars from around the world gathered to exchange ideas. But Africa's history wasn't just about kingdoms and empires. In many parts of the continent, smaller societies thrived, each with its own unique way of life. The San people of southern Africa, for example, were hunter-gatherers who lived in harmony with the land. Their rich oral traditions and cave paintings offer glimpses into their spiritual world, filled with animals, ancestors, and gods. Then there were the Nok of West Africa, a culture that predates many of the well-known African civilizations. The Nok are famous for their terracotta sculptures, which show a level of artistic skill that was far ahead of their time. They were among the first people in sub-Saharan Africa to master blacksmithing, which gave them an edge in agriculture and toolmaking. As we journey through Africa's ancient history, it becomes clear that this continent was far from isolated. Its people were explorers, traders, scholars, and artists. They created societies that thrived on knowledge, wealth, and culture. The image of Africa as a dark continent is simply not true. Its history is vibrant, its people innovative, and its influence undeniable.